What is up, Palm Harbor? On today's episode, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Today, I'm going to be talking about the real estate market. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a full-time realtor in the Palm Harbor area and have been doing that for about 6 years now. I started this podcast about a year and a half ago in 2021, but real estate, like I said, is my full-time job. It's something I am extremely passionate about, helping families in our community manifest, build wealth through homeownership. And today I want to share my insights into some conversations that I've had with people in the community, with other real estate agents in our area, as well as other states in the United States as well. You know, we're always just talking about real estate, kind of what to expect, what other people are seeing in the market, expand my knowledge of real estate. And I want to share that with you. Now, if you want any more information or have any further questions on, topics we talk about today or anything to do with real estate, message me on Instagram. It's at Donnie.Hathaway, or you can visit my website, DonnieHathaway.com. That's www.DonnieHathaway.com. Fairly simple there. Or my email address. I'll have that link in the description below. That's DHathaway@BHHSFLPG.com. That one's a mouthful, but let's jump right into it. Welcome to another episode of Palm Harbor Local. I'm your host, Florida native and real estate ninja, Donnie Hathaway. I started this podcast because I'm extremely passionate about connecting you with the people and the local businesses that make Palm Harbor so special. Palm Harbor, Florida is a great place to live, work, and play. It has everything you could dream of, from the food, the outdoors, the lifestyle, to the people in the community. I wanted to create a podcast that connected the community and inspired everyone to live better. To join this community and stay up to date on all things Palm Harbor, visit my website. It's palmharborlocal.com and sign up there to join the locals. And remember, together, we keep Palm Harbor local. So I just wanted to start off this episode by saying thank you for tuning in to another episode of Palm Harbor Local. I really appreciate you being here and being a listener of the podcast. It means a lot to me, as I started this podcast a year and a half ago and really had no idea that I would still be here doing it. And I know I keep saying that, but it's pretty awesome. And I'm thankful for you tuning in and listening to another episode of Palm Harbor Local. Now, if you're not already a member of our locals email group, then you can head on over to palmharborlocal.com. You can sign up there to join the locals and get exclusive deals from other businesses in our community, other businesses that have been on the podcast. We're going to be having weekly deals that are coming out every Thursday. So sign up there, join the locals, palmharborlocal.com. And if you have any questions about the topic that we're going to talk about today, so the real estate market, if you want to dive into any further details, I'll have all the links in the description below on how you can reach out to me and get in touch with me there. But I wanted to create this episode to just kind of share my insights and kind of give you some more valuable information about Palm Harbor and about our local community. These are conversations that I have just about every single day with people in our community, as well as other agents kind of across the country, just trying to get a better understanding of kind of what they're experiencing, if their market is any different than ours, and if we can pull, any sort of tips and tricks from them as well. So I want to share some of those with you today, and that's what we'll dive into. So to start off, we're going to talk about four numbers: number of listings, number of pending sales, the amount of inventory, month's supply of inventory, and the number of closed sales. So these numbers are for single-family homes in Pinellas County. So we're going to look at a broader picture for Pinellas County. And again, they're single-family homes. And the reason I do single-family homes only is because I don't want to bore you with a bunch of stats. It's the way our county breaks down the stats. Instead of lumping them all together, they break down single-family homes and then they group townhomes and condos sales together. And the single-family homes represents the majority of home sales in our community. So we'll just stick with that. And like I said, if you have further questions or want to talk about condos and townhomes as well, then reach out to me and I'm happy to provide information for you about those as well. So the number of new listings has increased year over year, not by a large amount, less than 100 homes year over year. The number of new listings has increased. Now, so obviously that's going to make you believe that inventory has increased as well. And it has. The month supply of inventory has increased from year over year from 0.8 months to this recent last month that we have for May 2022. It's increased to 1 month supply. So if the number of buyers were buying homes at the same rate, they were absorbing homes at the same rate, all the homes will be sold in 1 month. So 1 month is still a very low limited supply of inventory. In a balanced market, it's about 3 months supply of inventory. So if things are balanced, we have 3 months supply of inventory. Right now we have 1 month supply. So number of pending sales. Number of new pending sales is down year over year, right? So that would make sense, right? Number of new pending sales is down. New listings, new active inventory is up a little bit. Month supply of inventory is up a little bit as well. Now the number of closed sales is also down, right? So that makes sense too. That's what we would think, with inventory increasing and pending sales down. Also that the closed sales is down. So moving forward, with the number of pending sales down, that's kind of our lagging measure. We would expect to see closed sales down in the next month or two as well. What's interesting with those numbers is when you look at last year, the number of pending home sales compared to the number of closed home sales, that difference is much larger than it is this time this year. So we had a larger number of fall throughs, contracts falling apart this time last year than we did this time this year. And I think a lot of that was because of the frenzy, the crazy that was going on with, multiple offers where we're seeing 20, 30 offers on a home. Buyers are waiving any and all contingencies on the home, or they're doing whatever they can to get a home under contract. And then they, realize that the AC needed to be repaired, or the AC is not working properly, and they cancel the contract. They move on to the next one. So we're seeing less of the fall through this year, which is good. That means, buyers probably aren't stretching themselves as thin as they were this time last year. And we're seeing those contracts go to and close. So good news for both buyers and sellers in that regard. So one question that we get a lot. So after, now that we've kind of a little bit of an understanding of where we're trending, I don't think that's any new news to anybody. I think we all kind of understand where the market is trending right now. But the question I get a lot is, is the market going to crash? Is it going to drop off, right? Are prices going to drop? What's up, Palm Harbor? It's your host, Donnie Hathaway. If you are looking to stay up to date with all things Palm Harbor, then visit my website. It's palmharborlocal.com. Super simple. You can sign up there, join the locals, where I'll be sharing more information on local events, local history, and what's happening in Palm Harbor. I really want to create and add more value to you as a listener for spending your valuable time tuning into my podcast. So join me there, keep listening, and remember, together, we keep Palm Harbor local. And this is my opinion, but I don't think so. I don't see that happening because of when you just look at supply and demand. Like I said before, our month's supply of inventory is still only at 1 month. Our demand is still pretty high. We still have, buyers coming from out of state, coming from the Northeast, coming from California. I just had our Pinellas County property appraiser on last week, Mike Twitty, and he was stated in that episode. You can go back and listen to that full episode there. But he stated that California was the number one state where people were migrating from in this last, I don't know if it was year to date or this past year. A lot of people are still moving here, and typically we don't see people from California coming here. Normally it's from the Northeast, Chicago, Washington, New York, New Jersey, are kind of where we see most of the buyers migrating to Florida from. So I think for that reason, the demand remaining strong, inventory remaining low, we are starting to see that increase in inventory as we just noted, but it's slowly increasing, and which is a good sign. We don't want a drastic flooding of new properties, new homes become available, because that's when we could see that major drop in home values or something along those lines. So I think we're trending in the right direction, where we're going to see that kind of steady increase, a more normal market increase, where you're looking at like 3 to 5% year over year increase in value of properties over the next few years at least. I don't see any signs, and the same talking with other agents across the country, they're kind of seeing that same thing where inventory is starting to increase. The market has cooled off a little bit, but we're still seeing multiple offers in a lot of situations for the right home and when it's priced right. So if you're a seller, this is important because we're seeing some homes that are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. And the reason I believe for that is that the home seller has either stretched that price too high, whereas before 6 months, a year ago, you could get away with pushing that price a little bit higher. Now, you're not going to be able to get away with that. It's going to be very important that you price the home correctly moving forward if you're looking to sell the home, within the first 30 days, right? So we're seeing some of that where pricing has become more and more important now moving forward. So another question I get is whether it's a good time to buy and or sell. And I think it depends on your situation, right? If you have to buy a home, I think it's a good time to buy if you need to buy a home because of what I just said about the value of homes. I don't see the value of properties dropping over the next few years. So if you are one who is, you're ready to buy a home and you're going to be in that home for 5, 10, 15 years, then I think it's a great time for you to buy because of, values are going to go up. So if you wait 2 to 3 years, you're going to be paying more for that home now than you are right now. So for those reasons, I think it's a great time to buy. And on the flip side of that, I think it's a great time to sell as well because we still have that low inventory and we still have a lot of demand, right? So if you're, like I said before, if you're pricing your home correctly, you are still getting multiple offers and you're able to choose the best offer, the best terms and conditions that work for you. If you wait a couple of years, inventory is going to start to increase over those couple of years, and you're going to have, so that means you have more competition when you're selling your home. Prices may be a little bit higher, but you can have a little bit more competition, and maybe it may take you a little bit longer to sell in that more normal, more balanced market than it would right now. So if you can sell the property and you can find your next home, or you're downsizing or upgrading, whatever that scenario is, and it makes sense for you, then I think selling your home right now is a great option. So the other question I get is, you're telling me it's a great time to buy, but interest rates are so high. Interest rates are, 5-6% depending on your credit, that sort of thing, and they're increasing as well. And the only thing I have to say to you about that is the important thing is you being able to afford the home, afford your monthly mortgage payment, right? So regardless of what the interest rates are, you may have to lower the amount of the value of the home that you're looking for because of the interest rates are higher. But as long as you can afford that monthly mortgage payment, then you're going to be fine moving forward, right? So because the interest rates they may go up, but at some point the interest rates will come back down. You can always refinance. Most homeowners, they're really not staying in that first mortgage that they use when they buy the home for 30 years, 20, 30 years, right? At some point they're either cashing in on their equity, so they're doing a HELOC and getting that lower mortgage rate, or they're just doing a straight out refinance to lower the mortgage rate there. So even though the mortgage rates are high, if you look beyond that and just look at your monthly mortgage payment, figure out what you can afford within your budget that you can comfortably afford moving forward, and find that home. So that's another reason why I believe that it's a good time to buy, right? Because interest rates are probably going to go up throughout the remainder of this year. Home values, like I said, are going to slightly increase as well. So if you're looking to buy, now is probably the cheapest that the home is going to be within the next couple of years. So for that reason, now would be that great time. And I'm not just saying that just because, I'm a realtor and I want everyone to buy and sell. That's not the case. Like, I want people to make smart financial decisions that are going to set them up for the future. And I've had several buyers within the last couple of years, waited for this quote unquote crash to happen, or for prices to come down, or for the market to cool off. And now they are not able to afford a home or afford the home that they were looking for in the first place, right? So they've had to reevaluate their plans, or just continue renting. And I don't want you or anybody else to kind of go through that scenario again. So I think the biggest thing we get stuck with is, kind of reading headlines and, getting caught up in, high interest rates and, focusing on one specific piece of the larger puzzle. So instead of taking a larger overview look at the buying process or selling process and, what your goals are, people get focused in and locked in on, high interest rates. So if interest rates are high, it's not a good time to buy. Well, that's not necessarily the case, right? It depends on your scenario and it depends on what the market is doing, right? So in this case, I think it is a good time to buy moving forward. So I know that's probably a lot of information. I try to do my best to kind of make it succinct and make sense to anyone involved. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of share some of my insights and, kind of give you more value on what's going on in real estate in this local market. So if you have any other questions or want to discuss this further, like I said, the link to my website and ways to get in touch with me in the description below. But I hope you found some value in that. And I hope you enjoy this podcast. If you are enjoying what you're listening to, then do me a favor. Just head on over to Apple Podcast or the Facebook page, Palm Harbor Local, and leave us a review. Let us know how it's going for you. And that way we can just reach more people in our community and provide more value to all of them as well. Thank you again for listening to another episode of Palm Harbor Local. I really hope you got a ton of value out of today's episode. Now, if you're looking to connect with the guest or just get more information on the episode, then you can check the description below. I'll have all the links in the episode as well as a link back to my website. It's palmharborlocal.com, where you can stay up to date on what's going on with the podcast and sign up there to join the locals. Let's get after it this week, and remember, together, we keep Palm Harbor local.